You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
This is the Daniel Monday Night Community Show on demand through YouTube. Thank you very much for choosing to listen to us through this method. If you'd like to keep up to date with when I add new interviews, then subscribe to this channel. So we're going to be joined on the phone and we're going to be talking all about how parents are struggling to find the opportunities to really spend quality time with their young ones. We're going to be talking to Wendy, and Wendy, we spoke to you on the show before, so it's really good to have you back. Thank you very much for joining us. I was hoping you could introduce yourself and tell our listeners a little bit about yourself to start us off.
Yes, well, my name is Wendy Shand, and I'm the founder of a family travel company, Tots to Travel. We specialise in holidays for families, specifically with under fives.
So I was hoping you could start off by telling us how much quality time parents in our area here on the Isle of Sheppey are actually spending with their young ones.
Well, it's really interesting. We did the research because partly because I was a parent, I was really conscious of how much buzzing around I was doing, how I was juggling lots of plates and quite often dropping them. And I really wanted to get an idea as to, whether I was alone or whether mums and dads across the country we're finding very much the same experience, which means that we're all chasing ourselves around. And overall, we found that the vast majority of parents are really under all sorts of pressure when it comes to quality time, and particularly quality time with their under fives. There is some good news. 83% of people across the country are finding that they are able to spend an hour or more of quality time with their kids. The not so good news is that the families with working parents, 1 in 3 of them are finding that they have an hour or so less with their kids every day. And this is in your area, in the Isle of Sheppey, you're slightly under the average, with 22% of families with working parents spending less than an hour or so with their kids. So it's really sort of profound research to find out that actually we're all struggling in the same boat.
So what do you think are some of the sort of top barriers that are facing parents during the week?
I think, unsurprisingly, work gets in the way, but I think we're realistic about the fact that is a necessary barrier. It's not something that we're going to be able to get out of the way. I think what was more surprising is the barrier that household chores represents in our lives. 66% of mums say that's the thing that's getting between them and their quality time with their children, and that they would very much welcome the fairy to come and sort that out for them. I think what was more of a surprise was the role that social media is playing, and just being described as the ultimate time waster. I think for 1 in 10 parents, and I'm in that 1 in 10 category myself, that social media is sapping up an inordinate amount of time. And I know when I go and put the kettle on, I can think I'll be there for a minute, or I'll just take a quick look at Facebook, and 25 minutes later I'm still there.
I was going to say, that's the trouble. Once you start looking through Facebook and Twitter, the time sort of just flies by.
Yeah, it really does. And I think that the families of your mums and dads are finding that all over the country.
So some of this research is quite interesting. I was just wondering, why did you sort of commission it?
Well, as I was saying, we're working mums and dads ourselves, and we're finding the balance difficult to achieve. And then I was also really conscious that when we're away on holiday, we get the counterbalance to our daily lives. We find that we are able to reconnect, that we get time to relax. We have more energy. We have some really very, very special times with our children and with our spouses. And I think what I was curious to understand was the role that the two play together, how important the family holiday is, by contrast with how busy and stressful and exhausting our daily lives are. And I think this research goes to prove that the family holiday is a really precious time, and that not only that there are lessons while we're away on holiday. We need to understand what is it about being away on holiday that makes it so special, and what can we take back with us when we go back into our daily lives.
So do you have any more advice for parents that are sort of struggling to spend time with their kids?
I think the main thing is not to beat yourselves up, because I think it's something that we are all struggling with. You're not alone. It's a nationwide challenge that we've all got, and I put myself firmly in that category as well. I think the that's not to say that the time isn't really very important. You know, this is a very important stage of our kids' development. They're learning a lot from us. We're role models for them, but they're also learning about how to take turns, how to speak, how to love books. All of these skills are really important life skills, and which they learn through being with you. So I think it is important for us to weigh up. You know, shall I get down and play for 5-10 minutes and play some Lego or read a story, or is it more important that I put that other load of washing on? I think that the former is probably the bigger priority. I think also when we're finding ourselves sliding away into social media is to take a check and say, well, you know, if I go there, I know I'm going to be there for 15, 20 minutes. I'm deluding myself if I think I can only be there, I can come away after 2 minutes. And perhaps one thing we did while we were on holiday last week in Northumberland was to switch the Wi-Fi off altogether. And it's something that I brought back into our daily lives, just for an hour or two in the evenings. We're switching the Wi-Fi off. It's a challenge. It's a challenge because I have teenagers now, but I think it's a really important thing for us to do.
And I suppose one of the things this research is showing that everybody is struggling, because I suppose it's one of those things where you can often think I'm the only one struggling, but lots of parents out there appear to be struggling to spend time with their young ones.
I think that's exactly right. I think it's really important not to beat yourself up, but equally to challenge yourself on, you know, okay, well, if I could add another 5 minutes to that time, that's quite significant to the hour I spend in the day. So maybe, you know, sitting down for dinner together, taking a few more minutes while you're bathing your children in the evening, and trying to relax into it rather than trying to make it, you know, trying to rush it through, which again I'm very guilty of rushing things like bath time. Right, come on, quick, let's get you in and out, into bed, lights off. Right, now I can have a glass of wine. Maybe it's a question of saying, okay, does it matter if I spend an extra 2 or 3 minutes, you know, playing in the bath with my kids rather than rushing them to bed 2 or 3 minutes earlier?
Was there anything else you'd like to cover or get over to our listeners, or was there any areas where listeners can find out more information?
I think it's really important. I think one thing that this research really does highlight is that the holiday, it's really important to get your holidays right. And I think this is a time where people are booking and planning their holidays for the summer. It's important. It not only is a big ticket item in your year, but also the time is so precious, and so it's important to get that really right. And the kinds of questions you should be asking about, you know, what do I really want to get out of my holiday? Where do I need to go? What are the hallmarks of a really fabulous holiday? And we know that most families have to have a really rubbish holiday where things go very badly wrong before they find the holiday or ask the right questions and plan the right holiday for them. I think you can save yourself a lot of time by coming and having a chat with us. At Tots 2 Travel, we're experts in travelling with under fives.
Well, Wendy, if you're happy we've covered everything, I'd like to thank you once again for joining us on the show. It's been great to have you back here at BRFM Bridge Radio on the Daniel Monday Night Community Show.
Oh, absolutely my pleasure, Daniel. Thank you for having me.